Starting troops, Struxn here today with a brand new video, and today I have got a gameplay commentary for you guys to watch about the whole expansion of the CWL and what they can do to improve things. Before I get into the whole commentary, guys, this is just a 2 vs 2 gameplay on Arsenal. I played last night with Curry K, not last night, sorry, a couple of nights ago with Curry K, playing against Proxima and his doubles partner. I can't actually remember his name, but if a scoreboard comes up you'll see it anyway. They were quite good. They were like 15, 16 and 1. As you can see, it's our first game on, so it was a few shaky shots, but we played quite well. So yeah, going on to the commentary, guys. Basically this video is going to be about what CWL needs to do in regards to having more EU events to like expand the whole of esports, you know, to get bigger, to get more money, etc. Most of you will come. I should have actually loaded this up before I started the video, but I'll get it just now as I'm talking. Most of you will have seen the tweet that I made yesterday, which has kind of been retweeted quite a bit. You know, like Momo and Brycey have retweeted it, and it's, you know, it's gaining over like 100 odd likes, 200 likes, 60 odd retweets and all that. So it's going around quite a bit in the EU scene, and obviously the EU scene is quite a small, tight-knit place. So chances are you might have already seen it, but for those of you that haven't actually seen it and are just coming straight from my YouTube channel subs, what I said was, if developers want Call of Duty esports to grow, they need to have more than one EU CWL event a year, right? So then I just started listing off a heap of different event cities, you know, cities that could host an event. So I said like CWL Paris, CWL Berlin, CWL Amsterdam, CWL Stockholm, you know, Madrid, Dublin, Rome, Copenhagen. And I basically just said, imagine those weekends away with your squad, right? So originally I actually just tweeted that as kind of like, imagine you and the boys got to go to like Amsterdam for the weekend to play some COD, and then you just get to like go out the whole time, you know, as it in a good way. But I did add the whole, if the esports wants to grow, if COD esports wants to grow, they have to expand it. And it kind of just started kicking off. Loads of people started retweeting it and that, and I was like, all right, okay, because it is an opinion I hold quite highly, that we need to have more than one EU event a year, and I'm sure most Europeans will agree with that, because we've got what, CWL London this year, and we're gonna have like what, 6 or 7 CWL events in America, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? For Australians, I'll point this in, I wouldn't even be against having a CWL Sydney or something, CWL Melbourne, whatever. Like, we need to start, COD needs to start branching out. My main point on why this is because Call of Duty can't remain a big fish in a small pond forever. Because at the minute, all we're doing is really having events in America and having them in the UK, right? One in the UK, maybe 8 or 9 in America. And there's huge followings in Scandinavia, so in countries such as Norway, Sweden, Denmark, you know, even Finland, you know, there's huge followings in Spain, there's a huge following in France, you know, even Italy and Germany have got big followings, Amsterdam, Belgium. All these countries have as big, if not sometimes bigger, followings in the UK, so it would make sense to have another event there, especially for like the amateur side, you know, the amateur players. But obviously the whole thing with franchising comes into it next year, and that might be a completely, and you know, that might be a different video topic for another day. But yeah, so like, you know, if being realistic, amateur players can maybe only get to one. You see, if they're top amateur players, they'll go to like 1 or 2 NA events a year, right? They can't afford that. Even top, you know, even lower level pros struggle to get to America that many times a year. You see pros not even going to events because they can't afford it or can't find an organization. So it would be good for Call of Duty to tap into this place. Plus, once you're actually in these countries, the market grows. There's people that might not play Call of Duty that might just get interested in it. Maybe they're into CSGO, but they say, oh, you got Call of Duty events now, I'll try my hand at that kind of thing. So yeah, we can't remain a big fish in a small pond forever. You know, we've got to be more like StarCraft or more like League of Legends, Counter-Strike. They have events in Europe, they have them in Asia, they have them in America. Like, they've just broadened their whole marketing thing. Now, some people, the argument against it was, there's a few people that replied, I would love to see it happen, but it doesn't make financial sense, not commercial side. It doesn't make financial sense for them to do it. It wouldn't be profitable. Now, my theory is, why would it not be profitable? Like, you're still going to sell it out, like tickets wise and that. You're still going to have people watching it. Arguably, sometimes the time zones are a bit, you know, they can be a bit hard for people to watch, maybe if it's past 4 AM or whatever. But obviously, Europe being before the NA, which is where most people watch, is from the NA, it's just going to be like, you know, earlier in the day. Whereas if we want to watch an NA event, we're staying up till like 3, 4 in the morning to watch it on a week, you know, on a Friday night or something. So, you know, I mean, you pick and choose, but I mean, it can be doable. Like I said, Australians as well. Obviously, their scene's still at the very starting point of growing. I wouldn't be totally against having one event there, because then it grows that even further. But yeah, so it would definitely be profitable. Like, you're still gonna sell it out. You're still gonna get a lot of viewers, and especially more from this region, which brings in more people from this region to watch, etc., etc. So there is that point of it. But yeah, it's called the COD World League for a reason. Like, World League, and you're only having events in 2 countries. It doesn't really make sense. You look at like Spain, for example, right? They've got teams like Heretics and Giants, right? Obviously they're not on the same scale as Optic, but to their home country, they are the equivalent of Optic. You know what I mean? They've got huge followings. The same with France. I think you've got Millennium. You did have Denial before they picked up like Rated and all that lot just there. You've had Millennium, and who was the other French organisation had last year? Tommy was on it with Chain and Maple and that. Oh, who is it called? Vitality, that was the one, Vitality. So you have like Millennium and Vitality, and I believe Apex were from there as well. And there's heaps of other French orgs. Was it Overtime as well? They were there. Like, that's a huge market in France as well. You know, the UK is obviously, we've still got an event. It would be good to have, like, see if I had the choice of having maybe 2 UK events and maybe one other EU event. So say Birmingham, London, and Amsterdam, right? I would rather have it as a Birmingham, Amsterdam, Paris. Like, it's more opportunity for the amateur scene to grow in all these other countries. It brings in more viewers from those countries. It brings in more players. Everything. It just financially makes sense about it. Plus, it sounds cooler when it's the COD World League, but it's always in America or in the UK. The same events coming up. Like, they're still good, but like, just the whole idea of it being Amsterdam or Copenhagen, like, it's new places to go. It just spices, like, even people that aren't going, it just sort of spices it up a bit, because no one's been to these places, they haven't seen it, they get to see more. I believe, obviously, like, Scandinavia's really big on their events. Like, they have DreamHack in Stockholm, which looks absolutely unreal, and like Germany have like Leipzig and that as well. And the one in Copenhagen, what was the one in Copenhagen they had? It was Copenhagen Games, and it was like Blast Games or something. The president of Denmark came to that event and gave a speech on how economically it's good and how it brings people together and all this sort of stuff. Like, it just, honestly, to me, it just makes sense for the CWL to expand it. But yeah, I'm kind of ranting on now about the same thing over and over again. But I'm more interested in seeing like the American people's point of view of this. Like, I know a lot of EU people are very much for having more EU events, but how do the Americans feel about it? Like I said earlier, obviously you will have to probably watch earlier in the day. So maybe like an event for us would be, what is it, like, say to Florida is like 6 hours ahead of us. So if we start at, I don't know what if it's like 10 o'clock for us, so that's like midday of an event, you'd have to start watching it at 4 PM in the afternoon. So it is kind of like time zones do kind of play an issue for viewership, but you know, if it's Optic playing or if it's Envy or if it's FaZe, it doesn't matter regardless, and even then it's not going to dip that much either way, even if it's let me think what team. I'm trying to think of a team which hasn't got the biggest following in the NA League. I can't even think just now. Like Midnight or whoever it is, right? You know, for what they lose in their NA viewers, it'll be made up for in EU viewers because it's a time suitable to them. So, yeah, really interested to know what the Americans think about this, and the Australians as well. Personally, I think for Australia, I think one event at the minute would be good enough. They should definitely have an event, because obviously they always have to travel, etc. CWL Sydney just sounds cool to me, but you know what I mean, like, their scene will grow, and eventually if it does grow enough, then maybe they might branch into like New Zealand or whatever, and you'll have Wellington, or is that the capital of New Zealand? Wellington? I think it might be. Yeah, so you might have more events in Australia eventually. Like, you see they've got the Brisbane events, and you know, people still tune into them, so it would make sense, like. But yeah, like I said, guys, let me know your opinion on that. I'll link this video to the tweet, so yeah, hopefully you come up from there. If you haven't already, I'll link my Twitter so you can see that below. If you are new to the channel, guys, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help me a lot. I'm over 200 subs now, so trying to get to 250 by the end of the month, which would really help. Press the notification button, definitely. You get notified every single time I upload a video, and I try and do these commentaries or tips and tricks videos quite a lot to do with Call of Duty, as well as other stuff. Like the video, comment down below, definitely let me know your thoughts about this, and yeah, guys, I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.
Let's go. Fucking yes, Cuddy K, man.